Hello, welcome back to Rapid Regeneration. I'm David Escamilla. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. I'm not making any claims about diseases or medical claims. I am somebody who has healed myself from horrible health problems. Not only that, but after doing so, I figured out how to get to high levels of performance, feeling good, and just that's it. I mean, energy, expansion, awareness, spiritual growth. Those are all things that you can have and you can grow once you're healthy and well. If you're suffering, you can't really do those things. Those are all, they build on top. And that's what happened to me. Is I was suffering bad for 4 years. I felt so horrible. And I don't recommend overdosing on cough medicine, because that's what really messed me up. Then I discovered some methods that could reverse that. And it took me a few years to do that. So all during this time, I wasn't really focused on going to the next level until I got totally recovered. So this can help you, this information, either way, with whichever side of neutral that you're on. If you're below neutral, if you're suffering, if you have health problems, you're trying to get to baseline neutral, then this information will help you. If you're at neutral, but you're plateaued and you want to go to more energy, more awareness, more vibrations, then this information can help you do that as well. That's the point of this. So basically, hot and cold temperatures are something you can use that are powerful, very powerful. And basically, these are good stressors from nature. So you have good stressors and bad stressors. You know, stress gets a bad rap, and rightfully so. You know, look at the way people live nowadays. There's no time to do anything. They're at some corporate job. They're in relationships, or, you know, their lifestyles, and they're just basically getting repetitive stress injuries over and over again. So you have bad stressors like a relationship that's unhealthy with someone who's abusive. How about a dead-end job? How about bending over backwards to appease, you know, unfair person or boss or customer? How about depriving yourself of sleep? Okay, these are bad stressors. Now you have good stressors, such as loading your bones with weight, you know, tearing your muscles to build them back up, pumping the heart, working the lungs. How about abstaining from food for a period of time and building your hunger? Or how about putting yourself through a challenge that lets you grow and evolve? So the problem is that in the modern world, we've become so comfortable that a lot of times people are not really challenged or pushed to the limits. And, you know, exposing yourself to extreme temperature is a way to put a good stressor on the body. And it takes us back to our ancient roots. So the body is anti-fragile in this way, and it will respond by actually strengthening itself. And by the way, so will the mind. Now there are some caveats. You want to be careful. You want to make sure you're hydrated. You don't want to do anything stupid. Okay, don't bake yourself like a pizza in a brick oven. You know, don't put yourself in that hot of a temperature, and don't make yourself so cold that you get hypothermia or frostbite. If you have injury, if you have physical weakness, you know, just, you know, approach these things slowly and ease in. Don't shock the body. So these are all just common sense. But some things you can do that have a major dramatic impact on your health in terms of the hot side of things. You have saunas, steam rooms, hot yoga. How about exercising outside when it's hot, in the hot sun? Okay, some benefits of hot temperatures potentially can include detoxification of toxins via sweating out of the skin, increased heart rate, blood flow, cardiac output, promoting cardiovascular health, heat shock proteins, which get excreted, that can accelerate protein synthesis, stimulation of hormone production, which can assist with better muscle mass, cleansing and rejuvenating to the skin, reducing and balancing inflammation levels. Statistically, it's correlated. In other words, frequent heat exposure is correlated with longer life expectancy. Increased levels of norepinephrine, which creates more alertness and focus. Promotion of self-discipline, self-confidence, self-efficacy. De-stressing and calming. So the hot and cold are like yin and yang. So the heat will basically open up the body, expand things, or the cold will basically constrict tissues. So you could feel this when you use heat. The body loosens up, it opens up, and you sweat out so much fluids. And man, I love a good sauna. And if you haven't given it a try recently, give it a try. The steam room is great too. It's nice. My one concern is, the tap water. Is they use tap water to steam the steam room, which has chlorine in it, tons of chlorine, a lot of other toxic chemicals, at least where I live, and probably where you live too. So I'm just a little wary about that. I find the cleanest, most intense benefits are from the dry, high heat in the sauna. And I joined a gym just to get access to the sauna, and it was one of my most favorite pastimes since doing that. Although I do sometimes use the other areas of the gym, but I like to follow it with a session in the sauna. Now, one insight that's valuable, I'm sure, is be cautious about infrared saunas. Okay, please take my advice and avoid them. Now, a lot of health and wellness people talk about how great infrared saunas are. And I've studied into it quite deeply, and I'm sure there are benefits to it. There's no doubt that there are benefits to it. But there's potential risks that are definitely outweighing the known benefits. Okay, because you have a regular sauna, which uses basically an irradiant heater. It's like a big metal heater. It heats up the room. From a central source. An infrared sauna does not do this. An infrared sauna uses microwave radiation, and it heats up the body's cells from the inside out. Now, as somebody who's highly aware of radiation, EMFs, this is intense and very intense risk that personally I'm going to avoid. Now, the defenders of infrared saunas will say, well, it is microwave radiation, but it's not as intense of a microwave as an actual microwave. It's a less intense wave length, but it is microwave radiation. Okay, well, I just want to minimize all microwave radiation going through my cells and heating them up from the inside out. So stick with a central metal irradiant heater in a sauna versus the kind that the infrared ones have these little things built into the sides of the wall and into the seats. That's how you can tell. So you want to definitely, if you're scoping out a gym, definitely make sure that it is a traditional irradiant sauna, not an infrared sauna. It is very soothing to the mind as well. Trying to hold out for 20 or 30 minutes in a sauna is a great test of willpower if you're up for it, and strength of the mind as well as the body. Don't bring your phone in there like I see people doing. Let your mind go, see what happens. Your mind will be forced to kind of expand into a new territory of consciousness just to tolerate sitting there. Personally, I like to practice transcendental meditation while in the sauna. And there's another separate segment about that. Now, it can be considered a luxury. It requires time and money. So just check out the gyms in your area and see if they have a traditional sauna and see what the pricing is like. And if you can help it, invest in yourself. There is no greater investment than your own health, your own wellness, and your own energy. So that's it for hot methods. Now, what about cold methods? Now, this one is not as fun. Okay, using cold is much more uncomfortable than using the heat. And it's harder to get started. It takes more willpower. So it does get much easier, much easier, I've learned. Also, the cold methods go hand in hand with breathing techniques. So if you can figure out how to really breathe and control your body's oxygen levels, then it can be more helpful to control your body's temperature. So yes, I understand it's more uncomfortable. But yes, cold methods include things like standing in the cold air, cold showers, cold baths, ice baths, sleeping in a cold temperature, and therapies where cold air gets blown on the body. Now, potential benefits of cold methods can include increase immune function, assisting exercise recovery, natural anti-inflammatory, improvement to circulation, increased dopamine output, release of adrenaline, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, stimulating the mind and body, acceleration of metabolism, activating thermogenesis, which burns fat, acceleration of weight loss and fat burning, cold shock proteins excreted, which benefit the nervous system cells, and enhancing to mood and brain function. Again, I know how hard this can be. What you can do is take a hot shower, and at the very end, I'm not saying just jump into a cold shower right off the bat. Okay, take your regular hot shower. At the end, switch it to cold. If you can't switch it to cold, switch it to cool. Start off with cool. But you switch it to cold. Okay, run the water. Take a big deep breath in. And you want to hold the oxygen in. And basically just run the water over your chest, over your arms, your belly, your front legs, then your head, your shoulders, then flip over, let the cold water run down the top of your head and down your spine. Okay, now as you do this more, you can get more tolerant. You can work your way up in terms of how cold you've flipped the temperature to, or how long you can stand it. You know, whether it's just 30 seconds or a minute, or if you can go 5 minutes. What if you can even go 20 minutes? So, as strange as this sounds, yes, your tolerance will grow and you'll get better at it, but you'll even perhaps start to crave it. I've gotten to that point where my body actually craves this cold stimulation. Now, the most intense version of this probably is a cold bath or an ice bath. This is where you keep the water at a very cold temperature. You keep a thermometer and you keep it at such as 40 degrees Fahrenheit. There's other temperatures that you could do. Obviously, you don't want it to be too cold. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be a bath full of ice cubes. It can be a bath full of cold water, perhaps with some ice cubes. And, you know, the cold water is so much more impactful than cold air is on the body. In terms of stripping out fat, if you want to strip fat off the body, there's no better way, as the body will burn the fat stores to generate calories of heat. And, also professional athletes and so many people will attest that cold baths and ice baths can assist in physical recovery and resiliency. You can also sleep in a colder temperature. I definitely recommend this. I talk about this in the sleeping segment. And just like a piece of good produce, you'll preserve better if you keep yourself in the cold at nighttime. There's many studies that have been done into this. And you can keep a big blanket on so that you can snuggle up and still feel warmish. You don't need to feel like you're freezing, but I like to keep it at a nice 66 degrees, which is pretty cold. Yes. So yes, I know this is easy to resist, the extreme discomfort of the cold. So yes, I'm not claiming that I'm there yet in terms of doing ice baths all the time and stuff like that. I'm working my way into, but I'm constantly getting stronger and better. And I've been amazed it gets easier and easier. But you got to take that first step. At the end of your next shower, just try it for yourself. It's a real elevator of mood. I like to now start my day with a nice 1 to 2 minute cold shower. Just go right into it. And boom, it just wakes you up. Do that, then some breath work. And, personally, I like to do a little transcendental meditation. But let's just say, it's a great way to start your day. Just 1 to 2 minutes blasting yourself. So that only takes pennies. That's cost next to nothing. Now buying bags of ice costs more. Getting a membership to use a sauna in a gym costs more. But these are relatively low cost therapies. And if you're detoxing, if you're cleaning yourself out, if you're trying to transform your body, then these good stressors are your friends. So don't be scared of nature in this way. This planet exists with these extremes on it. And so do we coexist within that. And we're meant to withstand that and survive that and thrive. And so don't be afraid of it. You can do it. Give it a try. And I hope that helps. This is brought to you by rapidregeneration.com. Keep going, keep learning, keep expanding your knowledge of these different techniques, because all of them can help you, and figure out which ones really resonate with you and move through the resistance. If you're resistant to doing something like that's going to really help you, just give it a try and you can absolutely do it. That's all for now. Bye for now.
For more information, please follow @Rapid Regeneration or visit rapidregeneration.com.